All right, number three. Number three is going to be the Denver Broncos hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Third biggest game of the week, in my opinion. If you disagree, tell me, and then maybe I'll pay attention to it. I don't know. Either way, let's look at the stats, and I'm going to tell you why it is a big game. It's a big game because Nathanial Hackett is the big story. Nate Hackett has been making the most mind-boggling, head-scratching, unbelievable decisions on the field. It seems like the moment's just too big for him. This is going to be his first, or this is going to be a Sunday night game at home in front of the home crowd, in front of a NFC champion attendee. That's a lot of pressure. And he's been talking about it. He's been really kind of, giving his feelings. He's kind of throwing his heart out there in some of these press conferences, talking about, I should have made this. He even said we shouldn't have kicked that field goal. Because, of course, you shouldn't have. I don't know how much to get started on that field goal in week 1. It's 2 weeks ago, but that was unbelievable that he kicked that. I mean, anyone with a PlayStation and Madden knows not to kick that. Any high school coach knows not to kick that. So when he's coming in and doing these things, it just has to be like a brain fart or something. It's unbelievable. And then things didn't get any better against the Houston Texans. They won. I guess they did get better. They did win because the Texans are an empty shell of a team. Sorry, Houston fans. But the Broncos have Russell Wilson, and they can't score in the red zone. And they don't send their punt returner out on punts. Their defense looks great. I don't know who's running the defense. Nate Hackett is an offensive coach, so he's running the offense. And then, of course, every head coach makes the fourth down decisions and things like that. The defense looks good. Third. That's how good they look. They look good. They look so good they're third. And the offense is seventh, has yards. They just do not score points. They don't score points because of poor red zone management. And then the 49ers, obviously, what's coming in is this team, now without Trey Lance, the conversation ends about, do we bench Trey Lance or not because he gets injured, sadly. And I guess it's good that the 49ers kept him around, but I guess they start over. I don't know what happens now. I get that's next year's issues. Right now, you just think, all right, well, I guess we just return to 2021 and Jimmy Garoppolo's the quarterback. Garoppolo's going to play. We're going to run the ball. Deebo Samuel's going to run the ball. Wilson's going to run the ball. Mitchell's going to run the ball. We're going to run a lot of weird sweep, jet sweep, whatever type of runs. And you're going to take the pressure off of Garoppolo, and then he'll have to make a couple passes here and there, and that'll keep them going. And I don't know. They made it to a Super Bowl doing that, so why not? George Kittle is still out, so that doesn't help. And they're playing against the Denver defense. Granted, the Denver defense has looked good against the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. Two teams that, if they weren't 2-0, then there's a problem in Denver. And they are not 2-0, and there's a problem in Denver. So the excitement about this game for me isn't necessarily that it's a good game. It could be a good game. The 49ers are an exciting team. Russell Wilson playing against an old division foe. That's kind of cool. And maybe they can take it. I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out. But that's the main story. Will the Broncos figure it out? Will Hackett figure it out? And how many more times, how many more fourth down blunders can he have before you fire him? It's hard because when you're looking at a team and a coach coaching it, when you're looking at it like someone like McDaniels in Las Vegas, 0-2, playoff team. They added Devontae Adams. They should be better, right? They should be better. But it's more nuanced on why they're winning or losing. The teams they're playing are definitely better. They lost to the Chargers in a close game. They barely lost to the Cardinals. You can argue some of their points, some of the decision-making, but Hackett is barely beating the Texans. Hackett is losing to the Seahawks. Both of these teams were 4 or 5 win teams at best coming into the season. And now you're looking at the Broncos as a 1-1 team who split against possibly 2 of the worst teams in football. And it's because of bad, situational coaching decisions. Not like, oh, it was a bad scheme, or, oh, they ran a pass play when they should have ran a run play or something like that. It's not so nuanced. It's like you decided to take out your Hall of Fame quarterback on 4th and 5 to kick a record-breaking field goal with a minute left and 3 timeouts. What? How? What? And I know it's just one game, and they did win. But you can't. Those are decisions where it's like they way more likely win. They're way more likely 2-0 if he just doesn't do that. And those are decisions that are just right in front of your face. It's not like the kicker misses a 50-yard field goal. This is a coach who's making just some bonkers decision in this way. And this is a big game, like I said, because I want to see what he does. Sunday Night Football, we get to watch it. Everyone gets to watch Nate Hackett one more time to see if he can do something against a great offensive coach, a great coach in general in San Francisco. So how much? This is one of the best coaches in the league, not greatest, but one of the best coaches in the league versus possibly one of the worst starts as a coach that I can imagine. A coach who's just making the most ridiculous decisions and just blundering. And then it bugs me even more that he called timeouts at the end of that Seahawks game to make them kneel it down 2 more times. It's are you trying to prolong the conversation with management after the game is over? Either way, this is why I'm excited about this game. San Francisco is a 1.5-point favorite. It's still pretty close because San Francisco hasn't looked that good. Besides last week against the Seahawks, and then the first week they did not look good against the Bears. So, which team's going to right the ship? 49ers, the Broncos. I'm going to go with the. I think the 49ers are gonna take it. Usually I take the quarterback, but I think the coach disparity is so large that the Niners are gonna control this game and win it easily because the Broncos have not shown to be remotely good. Even a little bit good. They're just not a good football team so far. And the 49ers at least had a comeback game against the Seahawks. Not comeback as in they came back, but a comeback where they showed that they're freaking good. 27-7. So, tell me what you think, and we're moving on. Next game.